Nook Karaka.
Kia ora, e te kai whakahaere. E mihi atu kia koutou, huri no e te whare nei, o ngā mema. Tēnā kōrua o te minita o te kāwanataka, o te tuatahi e tuarua. Anō reira e koutou rā, tēnā koutou mihi atu kia koutou katoa. Te kai whakahaere, I first of all want to acknowledge too tēnei te mihi o ngā rakatira o te Committee Whiriwhiri Take Māori. Nō reira e mihi. I want to acknowledge my Māori Affairs Select Committee as the chair, and particularly to acknowledge the work that has gone on, not just with our committee, but the Māori Affairs Committee of the 50th Parliament. I want to just acknowledge all of that work that has gone on, and particularly instigated by Tāpeta Sharples in the 50th Parliament, and then transitioning it across to the 51st Parliament, and picked up by our present Minister of Māori Development. But also, it's actually around the work of the Māori Affairs Select Committee. And that work, sir, is based actually on the fact that when we first started with the committee last year in the 51st Parliament, we acknowledged and said to each other, let's park our political affiliations at the door and let's get on to what's best for our people. And so I want to just pick up on one point, particularly what the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta made, in the fact that particularly when, and I want to acknowledge those members of the Māori Affairs Select Committee, the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta, and also Marama Davison for actually putting up those SOPs. But it was not about division. This was about actually something that we all agreed, as we said, we want to work for our people. And we're all comfortable in each other's space into the fact is that you have the ability and on that whakaaro to put up those SOPs. But, and then it's here actually that we can kōrero, we can discuss them and debate them. But it was never ever the intention, and make that clear, particularly with some of the feedback coming from outside, is the fact that it looked like it was going to be divisive about this bill. So that's the first thing that I want to make quite clear, because this committee has worked very hard across parties to actually try and address a situation by where our language is on a life support system. And our language, actually, we are really the kaitiaki, is that we need to put in place what we're trying to do now to try and put life back into Te Reo Māori. And sir, this is what this bill is about. And the situation here is particularly with those SOPs, it's really important, I think, too, to acknowledge the Minister and the SOP that he has actually put up. And if that SOP is able to go through, it will become Clause 5A. And within that clause, sir, it's like, in some ways, the treaty settlement bills. It's an acknowledgement clause. And when we look at this, sir, is that I want to pick up on our Matua Pitaparoni, and particularly with what he said about Saparanganata. And the fact, sir, is that there are members here who come from marae, who come from areas where corporal punishment was used to actually forbid them or stop them to speak Te Reo Māori. But there are others, sir, that actually in some ways possibly came under the influence of Saparanganata, but down in Te Waipounamu, where it wasn't about that, it was actually about you needed now to learn English because that was going to be the way of the world. That was actually going to be a a tool that would actually see our children, us, and our children before us actually have a legacy in an ever-changing world. So, Mr. Chair.